Recording.
Well, back again. I'm still here on the East Coast. I'm leaving tonight to go back to California, but I have to actually can't stop without seeing my squish.
Hi.
Everybody who knows Gina, this is Gina, who was one of my wives, and
Number two.
number two, and we're going to have a series of these podcasts throughout the next couple weeks and months. And I've actually developed a YouTube page specifically for Gina because she has a gift with spirituality and gifts. And so say hi to the people.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Good. I know we both experienced a lot of
Heartache.
heartaches, tragedies, and I know we did a podcast about a year ago with the passing of Julie, and I think maybe way up there you can see the
See our
picture of Julie
pictures? Oh, wow.
up there. And
That's her shrine there.
that's her shrine there.
And our two friends, Glenn and Nathan, bought like beautiful stars for her. You know, they bought
Name a star.
Name a star. And so we have all that up there. So it's beautiful how it's laid out.
So within the last year, I've discovered this amazing medium of podcasting. And through a friend of mine, Daryl, and who's helped me out this past week with the one with the boxing promoter in Philadelphia, Russell Peltz. That's going to be premiering sometime next week, which is the I think the beginning of October. I was up in North Jersey with the entertainer Johnny Patillo up in Asbury Park in New York. It's a whole nother story for another day. But now, before I leave tonight, and Gina and I have been talking about doing our own podcast for a long time. And with this
Since
amazing,
I had my radio station on Blog Talk Radio.
yes, and that's almost 20 years ago, and
long
that's
time.
without visual. It was just audio. But now with YouTube and with Facebook, we can really get our message out there, and we're going to have a very unique message in this way. That with relationships, people being with each other, and how things go in and out, and we'll be able to actually explore a lot of those ways. So this is almost a little introductory, a little bit of a tease. The ones from now, we're going to end up from here on. We'll do it remotely when I'm back in California, but with this technology, Gina will be able to do this all for her computer, and she's going to end up having her own podcast, and I can produce for her. But what do you want to say on our little first time together, Squish?
Well, we had a very interesting relationship from day one, and it just got progressively more intense. So how do you want to start? Do you start at the beginning, our first date?
Well,
first date with the greasy fries at Rex's.
Well, we have to go back. Actually, it was like the mid '80s.
Yeah.
I was single from a previous marriage. A couple of years from that, you were divorced with a 4-year-old child, and we both loved the clubbing scene. And I have to say, after 5 or 6 years, I was ready for a relationship, and I've been very spiritual all my life. And I actually was working a part-time job at night at the Spectrum. And there was a Genesis concert, and I'm tired. But that whole day, I get this voice in my ear said, "Go to this club, West LA Cafe. Stop during the way home. Stop during the way home." And I'm tired. I'm driving. Actually, I'm driving by the building. I'm not going to go. It said, "Stop at this club." All right, I stopped in, whatever. I go in. I'm tired. I don't feel good. I'm not in the best. It's not like I got dressed up to go to a club. I walk in within 5 minutes. I see this amazing looking woman staring at me from the other side of the bar. I actually turn around like, "What, me?" And you smile. Okay. And then what I do, I walked around, and then we finally said, and I said, "Hi." And then what did you say?
You speak English.
And why did you say that?
Because I thought you were a foreigner. Everybody else in the clubs were foreigner. And I thought, oh no, but he was handsome and he spoke English, and I was thrilled.
So back in the day, a lot of Italian pizza places had their guys from Italy come over, and they spoke broken English or no English at all. And Gina was very, beautiful and everything. And obviously they would make time with her and like whatever.
Yeah.
So at first, like, I speak English, but I understood.
Yeah.
But then we both like gave each other one. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. We ended up having a good time. We started talking, blah blah blah, and then we went out. What do we do after a club? We
We
go to
go
the
eat
diner.
diner.
We go
Yeah.
to the diner and have fun there. One thing led to another. We give each other
No
phones. There's
numbers.
no cell phones. There's no internet. There's
Right.
nothing. Good old fashioned phone.
Phone. Yeah.
1986. Actually, God, what's it? Is right now it's Thursday, September 26th. Ironically, we
Ironically.
met on Friday night, September 27th,
Wow.
1986.
I remember dates.
So
Carl always would debate
that's
me.
28 years ago.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Trials and tribulations,
We went through a lot.
relationships. We ended up getting married. Subsequent ones, we'll have our wedding pictures. We'll have our young pictures and when we were in our youth, and her daughter, my stepdaughter Julie, and but what I have, I don't actually have any pictures uh, available. But there's Gina was in makeup and hair and electrolysis, and just this is Julie about 7 years old, and Gina was just getting Julie
Ready for this.
some makeup. So
You
hopefully
gotta
the
put the curling on too.
No.
Just to curl your bangs, they're like flopping. Okay, let me. I actually. All right, look up.
Carl, do they?
Look up.
Yeah, they do.
Look up. Are you gonna stay still?
It's too high. The fans. The what you call it's coming.
This is the pre-show makeup artist.
Right.
Here.
It's like.
Your makeup's gonna look great if you just let me do it right.
Stop.
Look up. Jill, this is one day you're allowed to wear makeup, so you might as well do it up. You're gonna be on stage, so.
I think we're still recording.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, and seems like I'm on blue, not on hotspot from my phone because for some reason the internet connection here is a little tough. So hopefully there wasn't a glitch there, but like live television, little thing there. So
Yeah.
I think we had a little bit of a video there with Julie and Gina back in the day. Gina putting on some makeup for hair for Julie, and gives you a little information about what life was like back. So Gina, give the audience what you have in mind once we start talking about our lives and then relationships, but then what you want to get into on your own, try to help people spirituality, because
and
what you've gone through in the last 10 years, not only physically with some health and some other issues, financial and everything, but maybe resonating for other people. Because I know when you did your blog talk, you did have a good little audience there from wherever. But here now with YouTube and Facebook, here's a whole nother medium you'll be able to do, and I'll be able to produce, in their ears that I don't even have to be on camera. I could produce for her. So go ahead, floor is yours a little bit there, little buddy.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to get into my spirituality because that's very important in my life. My praying and my prayers and God, and it's important. It's important. And when I broke off with Carl, I really went into my spiritual journey, and it just got progressively more and more and more. And after Julie died, it just went. I dove right in because I needed this strength to help me get through what was happening to me. And it was a very sad time in my life. It was a very hard time in my life, but I had Carl, and he really, he ended up living with me after we were divorced for 4 more years, which was pretty incredible. Most people can't even do that. And our time was what's the word?
We were predestined,
Yeah,
spiritually, because I was having difficulties financially, a lot of different things, and just the way things happen in life. So Gina, about 6 months before that, it's like, why don't we just try to
Live together.
survive, live
Yeah.
together for financial reasons. But I
Yeah.
think all in all, the man upstairs said, "Hey, you're
She
going to go
needed
through
it.
hell for the next 2 years because I've always wanted to go to California." They said, before you go to California, you got to go through this. But he put us here in this building, in this actual apartment here, in almost 9 years ago,
Yeah.
2015.
Hmm.
2014, and then 2015, beginning with a couple of relatives, a couple of aunts passing. And I think that was the year of the funerals and my dad having cancer and going through a lot of different things. And not that we would have like, we're just trying to relate this, not that like we want sympathy or anything like that, but how people cope. But then on July 13th, no, July 19th, 18th, 19, 2015, evidently we had like a little bit, close quarters. We were in each other's faces. We weren't getting along that evening.
Right.
Weren't you in the middle of writing me a letter
I
about
was in
something?
the middle of writing a goodbye letter to Carl, telling him like he's going to have to leave, things aren't working out, and then the phone rings.
At 20 of 9 that morning, and I'm at that night,
That
and I'm
night.
in the bedroom watching TV. You're out here,
And
and all I hear is screech. And
I picked up the phone. She goes, "You have a daughter, Julie?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "You're Gina?" I said, "Yes, I am." She goes, "She's dead." I said, "What?" I just screeched. And it was the loudest. And I threw the phone. And I was like, "Oh, my God." And, I got hysterical. And, I started crying. I was like, "I can't believe it." And the car comes in. I said, "Julie's dead." And he was like, "What?" We both were freaking out over it. It was absolutely the worst minute of my life or time of our lives. And it was hard. It was a very hard time. And she was my only child. So it was really, really difficult.
my only stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Just
And
the way
it was
worked.
hard. It was just a hard time for us. So we kind of called our family and said, everybody, Julie's gone. And everybody came. It was Gia's birthday, too. And I didn't know that.
Her cousin.
Yeah, my cousin Gia, who ended up helping me later on a lot with cancer. So that was a whole nother story. But it just went, it was just wonderful hearing from Gia and from everybody and talking about our situation. It was rough. It was rough. Um, then, we had to get ready to bury her and all that. And Jan Jemmy came over, our
That's the funeral
undertaker.
director.
And, we started talking to him and telling him what we wanted. I didn't really know what I wanted with her funeral. And I'm sorry I didn't do certain things because I thought, once they're buried, you can't take them back out. But I thought, if I could have maybe made a piece of jewelry from her ashes or something, and I didn't do that. So I do regret doing, that happening. But it was hard, when you're stressed out like that, you can't think of everything that you want to do. So that was a little bit rough. And we started, we had this plot. My mother bought a plot for us, so I could put two more people in there being cremated. So I thought, well, it could be me, Anthony, whoever needed that spot, we would do it. But so we ended up burying her. It was a beautiful funeral. Everybody came, and it was wonderful, and we gave her a good send off. And
We actually did a podcast a year ago with Gina and Julie's best girlfriend, Jenna.
Jenna.
And did about an hour podcast with that. And we played a few things and some pictures
it
with
was
that.
beautiful.
And we got a good reaction from that, a lot of responses from that. But now here I am about a year later and actually understanding more about podcasting and be able to take it on the road, not have to be there with this incredible technology with this iPad that I now have.
Right.
And but yeah, we're going to expand that. And then that year, my dad was starting to get sick. He had some cancer, and evidently with some of the medicine, whatever he was taking, he was not himself. We had a lot of issues there. And if it wasn't for this woman here, I don't think I would have been able to survive that either.
And my spirituality, that helped me too.
Exactly. So, but this is just a reflection. People, millions of people out there all have their own stories, and they're all good, bad, tragic. And this is just ours. We're not trying to preach
We're
or
trying
say
to help people.
or have sympathy for us,
No.
but it's just something to relate because, hey, I'm 71. Gina's a little bit younger.
66.
And like we're survivors.
Yes,
And
we
here,
are. And
But
this past year was even rough because I had cancer. I had cancer in my colon. And I was, had the doctor. I went through all that. I was doing everything spiritually before I went for surgery, and then that all helped me because when I went in for surgery, the doctor said I was completely clean. There was nothing round. I said, so I'm good. He goes, yeah, till next year, until you have to come do another colonoscopy, and you have to get checked every year because you had cancer. I'm cancer free, and it was a blessing, and I have to thank Jaya for that because she really helped me get rid of my cancer as much as I could from my end, and it was hard. It was not an easy process.
Yeah, we all go through a lot of different things, and Gina was going through on her own. We related to a lot of ways, but then we were also our own individuals. And I knew actually through Gina's relationship with her sister, we started going out to California in late '87. My first time out there, and her sister lived in Laguna Niguel that time, and I looked around and was like, "My God, this is beautiful! I would love to live out here."
Yeah.
And through different situations, a family situation that had a home out there, I was able to move out there. And I know Gina, deep down inside, didn't want me to leave, but then she understood why I had to leave. But it was for my own sanity, or
Yeah.
who knows.
It was his dream,
Yes.
and I wanted him to follow his dream.
And as of right now, I'm out there almost 6 years.
Right.
And I will never forget when I walked out that door and you gave me the hug, say goodbye. What did you say?
Follow your dream.
Make me proud. Remember that?
I did say make me proud. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know how proud we are, but whatever. But I want to give a little flavor about, look, we're all Italian. Her dear sister, who's been gone way too long,
Way too
about
long.
at the age of 51 in '06, but this was in 1989 also. She was engaged to this fella, Gary, great guy, and this whole July 4th weekend we spent eating.
Eating from every place. We would
And
go.
I posted on YouTube the night that they had the traditional crabs and spaghetti. But did you? No, there was no spaghetti that day. It was just crabs.
Crabs, yeah.
So it was just crabs eating crabs. I think that's a 9-minute clip in their old place in Wildwood, because a lot of those people that were there are no longer with us.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, her mother, Julie, and
Angela.
yes,
Yeah.
and her not stepdad,
Stepfather, yeah.
yeah. But anyway, this is
Ed.
part of that weekend that we were at this place called, what was the that dinner we had? Smithville.
Smithville,
This was the
yeah.
last. This was Sunday night. We had this, with Gina and Julie and her sister Angela. They actually gave the date and then how much we ate. So hopefully this will play a little bit.
Happy birthday, dear Bill. Happy birthday to you. May you have many more. May you have many more. May you have many more birthdays. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Very good. Very good.
You want to cut it here? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
You used to be back in the country.
Bye.
What are you saying bye for?
Why, we're not. Are you going to keep recording?
Sure.
I want
Oh,
to see
okay.
this movie, The Festive Eating.
I know. All we do is eat.
All this.
That's all it was. It's food.
Well, I could
eating
see.
dry.
This movie taken.
When are people gonna watch it?
It's gonna be a whole life.
You have just watched the July 4th proceedings of the DiBartolo Food Festival.
People watch this and say, I'll
You
never
have
eat
now
another day in my
experienced the
life.
DiBartolo Food
Most filling
Festival.
movie in town.
July 4th, 1989. Stay tuned for the next
gonna have to be
fabulous
done.
food
Somebody.
festival
With
starring
Julie
Julie Thompson.
And my
Celebrations of
Well, that's 35 years ago, and yes, the DiBartola Food Fest. It was an amazing time with family.
It was
Happy
beautiful.
times.
Yeah.
Gina
Happy
was always
times.
blowing me kisses.
Always blowing kisses.
And
Yeah.
the happy times and fun times and laughing, and it was her mother's birthday, so they celebrated her mother's birthday also that whole weekend.
Mom
so-
as well.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of reflection, a lot of positive, because we're found lucky that how the life that we did have, it was great. And then as you get older, people leave, people pass, have other problems, and here we are. But at least now through this medium, we can reflect. And these podcasters are basically going to be reflecting.
Right.
And through Gina's spirituality, which I think know she has a gift. Maybe we can get to the point we're going to be on there. I know here's where we could be on there, where people could comment if we
Right.
do live, whatever, and answer questions. And then YouTube also has a live action that we could be live on YouTube. So this is actually the first podcast that I'm on the road with Gina. I will be back in California later this weekend, and we're taping this. This is not going to be live, so this will probably show sometime next week. But it'll be the beginning, and we'll show this on her page, her Facebook page, my Facebook page, and my YouTube page, and her dedicated one that's going to be brand new
Right.
for her, and we'll be getting started from there. So I know we could talk for another half hour and 45 minutes, but we're going to show that and hold that to the next one, and just people give a little bit of ideas what they would like to talk about. If they like what they see, want us to go into a different area to talk about it, we'd love to.
Excuse me, not to add more, but when
Go ahead.
I did Blog Talk Radio, Carl and I did a couple shows, and people were like, "You guys are great. You have to have your own show about love and how things go and how you take it to the next level." And I said, "Well, maybe we will do a show." Not knowing like I was going to get off of Blog Talk. I was, all this stuff. Life happened, and
Why did it?
life really happened. And when I lost Julie, that was it. I just couldn't see myself going back to Blog Talk Radio. But then there was this. And I was like, okay, well, we have a podcast now. This is wonderful. And we can make it work.
It's really, and I've always used this term interesting. In the beginning of our relationship, she goes, "What do you use talking about interesting?"
Yeah.
Then as the years went by, she always, "Oh, you're using my word." No, okay.
Yeah, it is
interesting. So anyway, this is the direction we want to be in, because we have a message. Some people want to listen to it. And if you don't want to listen to it, there's millions of other things out there. But I think with this meeting that we have, and it's just been a year ago that I was introduced to this through some friends, because I've always wanted to do this in my own way. And then I got a couple of them under my belt. And then Julie's anniversary a year ago in July. And I was talking to Gina. I said, "Look, you want to do one for Julie that way?" Because I would always play the commemorative videos that I make of Julie. And we just checked out her system if it could work, and it worked. And that she understands now. She sees exactly how it works because I have my iPad. We're doing this remotely. We're not doing this from, 2,700 miles and me in California. So,
Right.
So yeah. So we're going to follow this up with a couple other ones, but this is the first one, and we appreciate any comments you may have, and lasting comments before we say goodbye.
Well, this is wonderful, and I thank you all for listening and coming to see us. And whatever questions you have, write them down so we can answer them for you.
You can send them on, because this is going to be on Gina's Facebook page, my Facebook page, my YouTube page, and Gina's brand new YouTube page.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to probably put up a little picture about that, and so we're going to be getting that started. So we want to thank everyone for being with us, even though we're taping this. We don't know if anybody's going to really see it, but we'll promote it.
Yes.
And anything else, Gina? Squish. We have to say that.
Yes, Squish.
The YouTube page for Gina is Talking with Squish. Just say how that name came about for me and us.
Well, we were down the shore in Wildwood, and Carl was in the bed sleeping, and I came in to wake him up, and I was like, "Oh my God, you look squished." And that was it. It just took a life of its own. And my cousins, everybody called him Squish. So that's how it started. He was all squished up in the covers, and I called him Squished. That was it.
So I think that's what the YouTube page is. Talking with Gina's Talking with Squish.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you for this first initial one for Gina and I for the podcast. Hopefully you'll see us down the road. Hopefully it'll be successful, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.